Were the priests to wear dignified clothing or any old thing? Did Jesus criticize religious leaders for wearing long robes on the street or their selfish attitudes? Are modern pastors Aaronic priests or overseers, elders, and teachers? Is any of this relevant to how church leaders dressed in the early church? Let's look at Exodus 28. Who were Israel's priests to serve in the tabernacle in the wilderness? Send your brother Aaron and his sons Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. They're the ones I've chosen from Israel to serve as my priests. Make Aaron some beautiful clothes that are worthy of a high priest. Aaron's to be dedicated as my high priest, and his clothes must be made only by persons who possess skills that I've given them. What articles of clothing were the priests to wear in their service? These are the garments that they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, a robe, a coat of checker work, a turban, and a sash. They shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, and his sons to serve me as priests. They shall receive gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine twined linen. How was the ephod designed as a special article of clothing? They're to make the ephod of finely spun linen, embroidered with gold and with blue, purple and scarlet yarn. It must have 2 shoulder pieces attached to its 2 edges so that it can be joined together. The artistically woven waistband that's on the ephod must be of 1 piece, according to the same workmanship of gold, of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely spun linen. What special stones were to be chosen, and what was to be engraved upon them? You're to take 2 onyx stones and engrave the names of the sons of Israel on them, 6 of their names on 1 stone, and the 6 remaining names on the other stone. Engrave them according to their order of birth, with work like a jeweler engraves on a signet. You're to inscribe the 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel, and you're to mount them in settings of gold filigree. Where were the 2 engraved onyx stones to be set, and what was to be fastened at the ends? And you shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod, for stones of memorial to the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon his 2 shoulders for a memorial. And you shall make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends. Of wreathen work shall you make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. What was the breastpiece, and what was mounted upon it? You shall make a breastpiece of judgment, the work of a skilled designer. Like the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet material, and fine twisted linen shall you make it. It shall be square, having been folded double, a span in length and a span in width. You shall mount it on 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be a row of ruby, topaz, and emerald, and the second row a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond, and the third row a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst, and the 4th row a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold settings. What was to be engraved upon the 12 stones of the breastpiece? The stones shall be engraved according to the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names. They shall be like the engravings of a signet, each according to his name for the 12 tribes. You shall also make on the breastpiece twisted chains of cordwork in pure gold, and you shall make on the breastpiece 2 rings of gold, and shall put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastpiece, and you shall put the 2 cords of gold on the 2 rings at the ends of the breastpiece. How was the breastpiece to be fastened to the ephod shoulder pieces and the waistband? And the other ends of the chains to the 2 settings, attaching them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front. Make 2 gold rings and attach them to the other 2 corners of the breastpiece on the inside edge next to the ephod. Make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the bottom of the shoulder pieces on the front of the ephod, close to the seam just above the waistband of the ephod. The rings of the breastpiece are to be tied to the rings of the ephod with blue cord, connecting it to the waistband, so that the breastpiece will not swing out from the ephod. We're introduced to the Urim and Thummim as if they were already known. The words are variously translated as light and truth, or lights and perfections, through which God's will was made known. Could they be just another name for the 12 stones, or are they totally separate objects? In this way, Aaron will carry the names of the tribes of Israel on the sacred chest piece over his heart when he goes into the holy place. This will be a continual reminder that he represents the people when he comes before the Lord. Insert the Urim and Thummim into the sacred chest piece so they'll be carried over Aaron's heart when he goes into the Lord's presence. In this way, Aaron will always carry over his heart the objects used to determine the Lord's will for his people whenever he goes in before the Lord. What are some further details about the robe of the ephod? You shall make the robe of the ephod all of blue. It shall have a hole for the head in the middle of it. It shall have a binding of woven work around its hole, as it were the hole of a coat of mail, that it may not be torn. On its hem you shall make pomegranates of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, all around its hem, with bells of gold between and around them. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate, around the hem of the robe. It'll be on Aaron to minister, and its sound shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before Yahweh, and when he comes out, that he not die. How is the turban, mitre, or linen hat to be embellished? Make a flower ornament of pure gold, and engrave on it like an official seal, holy to the Lord. You should fasten it on the turban with a blue cord. It should be on the front of the turban. It'll be on Aaron's forehead, and Aaron will take on himself any guilt connected with the holy offerings that the Israelites give as their sacred donations. It'll always be on his forehead, so that the people may be remembered favorably in the Lord's presence. What materials are to be used for the priest's robe, turban, and undergarments? Make Aaron's robe and turban of fine linen, and decorate his sash with fancy needlework. Since Aaron's sons are priests, they should also look dignified, so make robes, sashes, and special caps for them. Then dress Aaron and his sons in these clothes. Pour olive oil on their heads, and ordain them as my priests. Make linen shorts for them that reach from the waist down to the thigh, so they won't expose themselves. Whenever they enter the sacred tent or serve at the altar or enter the holy place, they must wear these shorts, or else they'll be guilty and die. This same rule applies to any of their descendants who serve as priests. Did Jesus criticize religious leaders for their clothing choice or their self-aggrandizement? Beware of the scribes who desire to go around in long robes, love greetings in the marketplaces, the best seats in the synagogues, and the best places at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These will receive greater condemnation. Were the priests to wear dignified clothing or any old thing? Did Jesus criticize religious leaders for wearing long robes on the street or their selfish attitudes? Are modern pastors Aaronic priests or overseers, elders, and teachers? Is any of this relevant to how church leaders dressed in the early church? You decide.